All right, I'm here with David DeGraw, speaker, writer, revolutionary.
You have to focus. We have to overcome this liberal versus conservative, Republican, Democrat, red state, blue state. We have to overcome that. And the way to do it is to focus on the central banks. That's where the real power is, you know. Everything else is a charade, man. It's a puppet theater. I mean, it's the banks. They create trillions of dollars. Anyone who thinks that we don't have money to solve our societal problems, I mean, just look at the financial crisis. You know, when Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and the other big six banks got caught in trillions of dollars of fraudulent activity, they just printed up a couple $1 trillion and gave it to themselves. You know, I mean, through quantitative easing, you know, the Federal Reserve and the central bankers come up with these really obtuse propaganda, you know, confusing sounding terms like quantitative easing. But really what quantitative easing is they printed up $4 trillion in the US alone, a little over $7 trillion globally, and they gave it to themselves. And it's just so absurd. I mean, once you understand how much wealth there is and how, you know, central bankers just click a button and invent billions and trillions of dollars, everything else is utter bullshit. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, I mean, listening to Hillary Clinton and Jeb Bush and like, I mean, what is that? Electoral politics is a spectacle for the mentally enslaved. I mean, I'm sorry. And the ultimate red pill is when people understand how much wealth there truly is. Once you understand how much wealth there is, it snaps you out of the matrix, because then you look at, you know, Democrats and Republicans and you're like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, you know, there's all this wealth. It's just absurd. I mean, we're witnessing economic genocide, systemic, deliberate economic genocide. And I know that sounds harsh to say that, but that's exactly what's happening. And the statistics prove it. You know, an explosion in wealth, a paradigm shift in wealth creation, a paradigm shift in technological capabilities, production has gone through the roof, distribution is through the roof. So you would think that this would be a really great thing for overall society. But instead of, you know, spreading that wealth, it's been concentrated within 0.01% of the population. I mean, they literally are robbing everyone of an economic future and a healthy future. I mean, it is literally, our economic system is a crime against humanity. And that's just a mathematical fact. The economy is only working for 25% of the population, and that number is going to decrease. So what's happening in Ferguson and Baltimore, I mean, that's just the first little wave of an incoming tsunami. Obviously, people are so buried in debt, they lose all hope, and rioting is going to happen. And you couple that with the militarized police state. I mean, look, you know, the central bankers who run this planet, I mean, they know that people are going to rebel. I mean, that's why they've been shifting money from, you know, public housing and pouring it into prisons and militarizing the police force, you know. I mean, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they've made their intentions very clear. You know, they're saying we're all for the aristocratic paradigm and we're for the violent suppression of the poor. I mean, that's just a fact. And, you know, break through the propaganda and it's common sense. I mean, these people laugh all the way to the bank. And, you know, and we have people who are well-meaning thinking like, oh, you know, I should probably support Hillary Clinton because Jeb Bush will be so much worse. Like, no, that's not the way to go. I mean, the whole lesser of two evil thing is it drives me mad because I know the central bankers are laughing all the way to the bank. Hillary Clinton's been hanging out with Lloyd Blankfein, you know.
Yeah, there's photos.
I mean, come on. It's just, and Goldman Sachs made Obama's campaign viable. The early money into Obama's campaign was Goldman Sachs. The bankers laugh all the way to their own bank. It's ridiculous. Once you understand how much wealth there is, you'll understand that electoral politics is a complete joke and distraction. The Federal Reserve could sneeze and end global poverty. I mean, that's just a fact. It's ridiculous. And for a politician to stand up there and not say that, they're a sellout. They're a propagandized puppet, or they're a sellout. That's just the facts of the matter. It's a mathematical fact. In the grand scheme of things, poverty exists to keep us in line. You know, whether you're in poverty or you fear poverty, it exists to keep us in line. That's the only reason why it's there. I mean, this is the aristocratic paradigm. We are led by short-sighted greed. But with all the divide and conquer stuff happening, I think it's important that we get the focus away from, you know, two-party oligarchy and electoral charades and put it back on the central banks.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. And everybody check out daviddegraw.org. Learn, grow, evolve. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Lee. Much appreciated. Much respect to you. June 20th, go down to the Fed in D.C. there, man.